of losing hope, the feeling of losing hope, and the thought that nothing would ever change for you, depending on what you are going through. There are some of these things that we experience in life, and you can't but to imagine how these things are happening to you. Um, that is part of life. No matter what is happening in your life today, you are bound to come out of it only if you believe, only if you want to come out of it. Because some people, they get down and they want to stay down. They don't have any fire in them, they don't have any strength in them to fight. It's been a very long day for me today, but I am just going to try as much as possible to get through this interaction, because I have already promised to be here by this time today. So after this discussion or conversation, I'm just going to have some rest. So today we're going to be discussing about the triggers or the sources of, you know, of despair. Despair is challenges of life. There are those situations or those times in your life that you feel darkness. You feel like you cannot get off, you cannot get up, or you cannot get out of that situation. That is a moment of despair. Life could be so overwhelming and at the same time complicated at the same time. Um, and when it is throwing you back and forth, up and down, left, right, center, you become more confused of why this is happening to you. You can even begin to think that this is what I've done in the past that is haunting me right now. No matter what you have done in the past, God is an all-loving God, provided you can seek redress and make amends. God can still show you his grace and favor. So when these things are happening in our life, we can't help but to think, why am I the one facing this? Why has this continued to happen to me? It is not that it is happening to you, but the fact remains that problems were here before we came into the world, and problems will be here by the time we leave this world. So you living a life includes facing challenges. If you want to live on earth, you have to be ready to face challenges. Miriam Palo, yeah, you can do your shout out. How are you doing, Miriam Palo? How are you doing? You're asking if you may have a shout out. Yeah, of course, you may have a shout out. Who do you want to give a shout out to today? Let me know in the comment section so I can give a shout out to the person, even as we continue on this discussion. So, life could be so overwhelming and at the same time complicated. There are moments in your life things will be happening and you will think that, no, you've been singled out for destruction. God hates you, or there is something happening somewhere. And I'm here to tell you that there is nothing happening anywhere. It is just life happening to you. We came into this life and we met problems, and problems will be here by the time we're done and left. So this is life. If you are prepared to continue to live in life, you have to be prepared for problems and challenges. That you are living through life means that you are solving problems as they come and as you continue to live. There is no two ways about it. That is what it is all about. So when things are happening to you, don't take it like there's something happening somewhere, or you have been singled out for destruction, or God does not love you, or the grace of God or the presence of God is not with you, right? Provided you are here on earth, problems abound. Problems of different magnitude levels, problems of, different natures. Sovik, hello. You say you are from India. You're welcome. All the way from India. Glad you're here. You're welcome. So problems left, right, center. And Everyone's problem is valid. I continue to say this, no matter how big, no matter how small your problem is, it is valid. What makes it a problem is not what is happening to you, but the impact of that situation on you. That is what makes it a problem. So a little thing could have a very big impact on you, and the other person that is assessing it based on their own imagination, on their own viewing or sight, might think that what is happening to you is little. And sometimes people try to compare issues, try to compare their problems, but that is not the way. Problems are bound to happen. At my age in life, I faced series of problems, you know. But I used to get so mad at life. I used to get so frustrated when it starts happening to me. But at some point, when I started understanding life, I come to realize that, so this is life, this is part of life. I cannot change it. I can only have the ability and pray for God's grace and wisdom to go through that problem and to solve it. But for me to stop problems, I cannot completely stop problems, no matter how careful I am. So no matter how careful you are, problems will come. I'm sorry to say this, but this is the reality of life. No matter how careful you are in life, problems will come. It is the nature of this space that we occupy. But through the grace and wisdom of God, you have the ability to walk through these problems, to overcome these problems and come out stronger and come out good. Most times when we are trapped in situation, when we are trapped in some kind of problems, it seems like we are not going to get out of the problem. But in one way or the other, by the time you muster the strength, the courage, the energy to follow step by step, to look for solution for that problem, at the end you realize that you come out good. Sometimes you even question yourself, how was I able to solve this? And when people ask you, you tell them honestly, I can't tell how I got out of this problem. You got out of that problem not because you're too smart. You got out of that problem not because you are more intelligent than others. You got out of the problem because you had the intention of getting out of the problem. When things happens to us, the situation wants us to stay down. The situation wants us to stay down. Because there is no bad situation that has come to put smiles on your face. There is no bad situation that has come to make you, to be more comfortable, to embolden your confidence. No. Situations has come to put shame on you. Bad situations has come to rob us of our future. Bad challenges of life has come to steal our joy and happiness. It has come to break you, to make you go down and stay down. That is what it has come to do. But you have the power to say, no, this is part of life and I'm going to fight through it. And you see yourself trying so hard, taking the necessary steps of getting out of that situation. So Vic, Poda, yes, everyone has a unique problem. Even the richest man has also a problem. That is true. That is true. So when you try to compare yourself with this person, we understand that this is a physical world, but most times controlled spiritually. But in the physicality of the world, money controls most of the things. So when we see a rich man, a wealthy person, lots of properties all over the world, businesses, bank accounts, jets, and all that, we think that their life is bed of roses. This is the mentality of an average human being. You see a person riding on Rolls Royce, live in a mansion, have properties all over the world, has a jet, have businesses, and you can see their family is also doing well. You might think that they have no problem. Let me tell you, bigger life, bigger problem. Life was created in such a simple way and manner. We are the ones who have always wanted more, more. And you know, the more you have, the more the problems. This is the truth. The more you have, the more the problems. There are people today who have the ability of having more, who has all it takes to have more, but they don't want to have. There are people today who can buy 10 cars at the same time, but they prefer to just use two. They drive one, their wife drive one, and that's it. There are people today who can hire house help morning, afternoon, night, but they decide to do their stuff by themselves. There are people who decide to live simple, even though they can afford having more. The more you have, not to discourage you about having more in life, being rich, wealthy, and all that, but the practicality of life is that the more you have, the more problem you have. As simple as that. Life was built. We were sent here to live simple. So we're the ones who decides to have more. And when the problems are coming, you know. So if you think that the big people, the wealthy people does not have problem, it's a very big fallacy. They have problems just like me and you. They have problems just like me and you. Because why? Not because they are rich, not because they are poor, not because they have... You will have problem not because of your level in life, not because of your class. You will have problems in life because life is associated with what? Problems. As simple as that. Life is associated with problems. The more they come, the more you solve them. Based on your capacity, based on your level. That is the reality of life. Right? So just to delve into our main discussion for the day, I was just giving an introduction to this topic. The sources and triggers of despair. What we mean by despair is the challenges of life, the problems of life, the situations in life that throws you into darkness, that takes off light and life from your sight. This is what we summarize as despair. What are the sources and what are the triggers of despair? What would you say, or what could you say can be one of the sources of this, you feeling so bad, you feeling like all hope is lost and nothing will ever change for you? What can you say that could be one of the reasons in life for that? Not to waste much of your time, I'm just going to delve into the listed ones here that I have. One is loss of loved ones. The loss of loved ones. The loss of loved ones. I think this is the number one. It's not so bad when you grow up with people, knowing people, those people becoming part of your life, becoming part of your family. Those people are blood and water. Those people are just like you. They are born, they are blood to you. And one day, you see them lowered on the ground. Have you experienced that before? Have you experienced that before? Of course, many people, almost everybody on earth has experienced loss of a loved one. Could be a brother, sister, uncle, niece, cousin, friend, parents, grandparents, and the list goes on. Seeing the person that you love, a family member, lowered down the ground is one thing that will automatically make your sight blurry and dark. During that period, nothing will ever make sense to you. During that period, your questions will be, what is the meaning of life? Why are we here? Why are you still alive? Where do I go from here? Why would this happen to me? Why my brother? Why my sister? Why my uncle? Why my grandparents? Why my parents? The list of questions goes on and on without answers. This is the number one thing, the number one source and trigger of despair, of challenging situations in our life. When you lose a loved one, you x-ray your own life through what has just happened to you. You will become faithless. You will lose faith in yourself. You will lose faith in God. You will lose faith in anything that you are doing, because life will become meaningless to you. There will be lots of unanswered questions, and it's something that you will have to deal with. Number two is financial hardship. Financial hardship. Some people today, they lack fund for shelter, for food, the basic necessity of life. We're not even talking about bills. We're not even talking about debt, things you owe. You owe the bank, you owe that person, you have mortgage, you can, we're not even talking about, we're talking about no money to afford the basic necessities of life. Food, shelter. No money. Then navigating into other things like debt. Some people are heavily into debt, even as we talk, like heavily into debt that they cannot sleep at night, that their own life is at risk. There are some people, there are some organizations or some places you owe money or whatever, they begin to threaten your life. It is happening right here on earth. It is happening right here on earth. So all these things, financial hardship. Your child can't go to school because you have no money to send them to school. You are just living each day from hand to mouth. Financial hardship is a source of life challenges. It triggers despair in our life. It throws us into that place where we begin to question ourselves, where you begin to question God, where you begin to question your future, where you begin to question even what you are doing at the moment. Financial hardship will make that possible in your life. So it is one of the sources of despair. Another one is rejection. You can be rejected where you feel that you should be accepted, where you feel that you belong, you should fit in. You can realize that you are being rejected. That alone can, lead you into some kind of depression. Rejected at work, rejected by family, rejected by friends, rejected by the society. Rejection is one thing that comes with stigma. Where you show love, people show you hate. Where you show compassion, people show you wickedness. Where you want to help, people intimidate you. These are rejection. It is a source and a trigger for despair, for a feeling of sadness, for a feeling of loss of hope in your life. Failure is the next one. There is no person who has never failed. Once you're a child and you grow up, getting to that level of knowing what is good and bad and making decisions for yourself, you will begin to fail. And you will begin to win. Sometimes you win, sometimes you fail. That is life, So some people cannot handle failure. Some people cannot handle failure. Once you get too used to winning, each time you come out good, each time you're on top of the situation, the day things will go left, it will be disastrous for you. Because failure does not make announcement. Failure have not come to put a smile on your face. Failure has come to challenge you. Failure has come to challenge you. Let me put up this question. How is life treating you right now? Yeah, some people are not used to failure. And because of this, they cannot handle it when it comes. It doesn't matter how little it is. It could be a little failure that you could, just do one or two and get back on your feet. But because you are not used to it, you don't know what to do. You are disorganized. You are confused. Every whole process is looking complicated because you are not used to failure. It can throw you into a situation of despair. Failure is part of life. If you must win, you must fail. If you must win, you must fail. If you don't fail at this level, you fail at that level. If you don't win at this level, you win at that level. Life for you, right? The next thing is illness. There are some terminal illness that one might experience. You might be healthy, very, very healthy 2 months ago, 1 month ago, a few weeks ago, and today you lose your strength. It is possible. Because of why? Because this is life. Because this is life. Illness is one thing that makes you lose hope. Because when your strength is gone, you can no longer do anything for yourself. You become helpless. All your dreams will begin to fade before your own eyes. Your thought process will be, I'm losing it, like, I may not get out of this. Or I am getting behind time. Or my dreams and aspirations are just going to vanish because right here I am. I cannot help myself. Illness can make you feel that situation of despair in your life. The next one is loneliness. Loneliness. When we talk about loneliness, some people think that is when you don't have people around you. People think that it is when you don't have people around you. Loneliness goes beyond just having people around you. Loneliness is more than just not having people around you. You can have people around you and you are feeling lonely. Even if you're the quiet type, you can be having your quiet moment and still you're feeling lonely. Loneliness of the heart. That is what we're talking about. Loneliness of the mind. Some people could just be thinking about something, thinking about their life, how overwhelming life has become for them, how problems are coming into their life, left, right, center. Sometimes they are lost in their own thoughts. Practically lonely. They could be with people discussing, but their mind is not there. They could be living with family, but you don't know what they are going through right in their mind. Their mind is off. They are completely empty within. That is loneliness. Loneliness of the heart. Loneliness of the mind. Loneliness is one of the sources and triggers of despair. Despair, a situation where you feel that all hope is gone, all hope is lost, and nothing will ever change for you. That is a situation of despair. It is that situation in your life where you feel darkness, where you feel stuck, where everything seems not to be moving for you. No matter how hard you try, you can't just get over this heavy thing that is on your shoulder. Not physically, but you feel it there mentally, psychologically, you are not free. That is a situation of despair. Loneliness. Loneliness in your vision, loneliness in your dream. You know, when you are working on a project and it feels like other people don't understand you, they can't cue into your vision. You are lonely on that road. You know that? You are lonely on that road. When you cannot get help, no matter how much you try, you know you need help, you keep asking, you can't get help. That is loneliness. It puts us into a kind of complicated situation right in our heart. You might have your family with you, you might have your friends with you, you might have your colleagues with you, yet you are lonely. Loneliness of the heart, loneliness of the mind. That is what brings about depression. When you hear that people are depressed today, I don't know what depression was till I had a little feeling about it. I got a real definition of what depression is, because I think I got into depression or I was almost there. You can have everyone around, yet you are gone. Loneliness. Another source or trigger of despair is delayed dreams. Delayed dreams. This one, people who are very intentional, who are objective about what they do in life, people who know their purpose in life and who have chosen a direction or a path. This one affects them most, because if you're a man of dream, if you're a woman of vision, you want to see your vision, you want to see your dream come to reality. As you continue to work on it, put in all the effort, the time, the material and resources, the energy, and if it is not showing forth, materializing the way you want it, some kind of discouragement and disappointment, it can make you give up on yourself. It can make you give up on God. It can make you give up on the process. This is the key message on this discussion. Pain is part of life, but giving up doesn't have to be. You don't have to give up. No matter what your situation is today, no matter what your situation is today, I don't want to sound rhetoric, but practically, both good and bad things don't remain the same. Everything world, hi. How are you doing? Godzilla, how are you doing? Good. Everything world, good. You're welcome. You can just like our live section, or you can share if you want to share it. Yeah, I look at the chat. Of course, I can see the chat, even as I talk to you. Can you see the question on the screen? Can you see the question on the screen? How is life treating you right now? How is life treating you right now? What are you going through? And how are you overcoming? How are you managing the situation? Because I know at every point in life, we're going through stuff. At every point in life, we are going through stuff. Even as I talk to you right now, I'm going through stuff. You know, when we put all the problems that we have together and put it or measure it on priority scale, there is one that is most pressing. You have one that is most pressing, that is more important. That one could be said to be what you are going through right now. That one could be said to be what you are going through right now. What are you going through right now, and how are you managing it? How are you trying to get out of the situation? In case you're joining us for the first time, this is Book of This YouTube channel. We do lots of teachings here, and more especially conversation and discussions on topics that borders on every aspect of our life. Every topic that we discuss on this channel is reality. Reality. It is something that touches one or two aspects of our life. And if we gather here to discuss on a particular topic, you are sure to leave the program with one or two lessons that, when applied in your daily life, it will help you. It will help you. I think we are coming to the end of this lesson today. Just like I promised earlier, not to take much of your time. It is exactly 34, getting to 35 minutes. I want to say thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you for being present. Every day we try to come live by this time, between this time and 6 p.m. I don't know what your time is. I don't know what your location is. So just know that we come live every evening. So just check our channel every evening for our live broadcast. Or what you would do is to set your notification. Set it up so that YouTube will notify you each time we are live, so that you can, join us from the first minute of the discussion. Thank you so much once again. From me, from here, it is good evening.